Paid sick days, I think, are a really critical safety feature in getting people back to work so that they know that if they are unwell, they can stay away. And ultimately, in some cases, they may have to offer slightly better compensation or benefits.
I'm Natalie Nanowski, and this is Scotiabank's Midweek Exchange, where we explain those big economic issues and how they could impact your life. Brett House is here as always. He's Scotiabank's Deputy Chief Economist. Hey, Brett.
Good to see you, Natalie. I hope the summer's going nicely.
So far, so good. I mean, I was walking down the street last weekend and almost every business outside has a help wanted sign. And that's especially the case for restaurants. And we know that this is also really playing out across the country as well. So tell us, what is going on in the service industry?
Well, first and foremost, that's a great indication that reopening is extending through the economy and starting to hit the parts of our economy that have been slowest to recover. And with the move to the later stages of reopening in many provinces and south of the border, we are seeing service sector businesses, particularly things like the restaurants you saw, starting to put up hiring signs and engage in a real race to get people back into the workforce. It's a little tough for them because with those sectors being the ones closed down for the longest time, they've seen the biggest flight of people into other parts of the economy.
So then what can employers do to attract new hires?
I think there are a lot of things they can do. They can offer greater flexibility in terms of how people work and the schedules that they offer. Paid sick days, I think, are a really critical safety feature in getting people back to work so that they know that if they are unwell, they can stay away. And ultimately, in some cases, they may have to offer slightly better compensation or benefits because they are in a difficult battle to get people back into what have traditionally been low paid jobs and in parts of the economy that have been closed for a long time and where a lot of folks have moved on.
Right. And COVID-19 has really shaken things up, and that's the case across the globe. And right now, in parts of the world, the Delta variant is really spreading aggressively. And there's a fear now that that variant can stunt an economic rebound. We're in Canada. We have one of the highest vaccination rates in the world right now. Could our economy fare better because of that?
Well, the good news is that Canada's economy, like most major economies, has largely recovered from the shutdowns last year. Canadian business and Canadian workers have gotten better and better at maintaining activity, even in the face of controls. And so, even with the rise of the Delta variant, the prospect of rolling back the recovery substantially is reasonably small. What it's likely to do, if anything, is just slow the further efforts that we're making to get back on the economic track we were on before the pandemic broke out. But Canada's a small open economy. We only account for a few percentage points of the world's total production each year. And if the rest of the world catches COVID, we're certainly going to feel the chill.
All right. So, what should we be watching for in the coming week?
There are a few things we can look to this week that will be of interest. We're getting house prices in Canada and the US, and that's always a great bellwether of how the economy is doing on a month to month basis. We're also going to see new labor market data in the US that shows some detail on how unemployment claims are continuing and new claims are developing in the US. And given that Americans got a jump start on vaccinations, that's probably a good early indicator of how those service sectors are recovering and what we might expect here in Canada a few months along the line.
All right. Thanks so much, Brett.
Good to speak with you, Natalie.
Good to speak with you too. And we'll have more Midweek Exchange coming up next Wednesday.